Like, you read the news and it's almost too real, you know? Makes you wonder if we're headed down a scary path. Well, the source material you guys send in, it's got that vibe in spades. We're diving deep into the sum of all our anger, a novel imagining a second American Civil War. And the big question you have, could this fictional future actually, become our reality? Let's unpack this.
It's fascinating how these what if stories, they often become a reflection, don't they, of what we fear most right now. Like, take 1984 by Orwell. It wasn't really about some date on a calendar, right? It was about, like, the slow creep of totalitarianism, yeah.
Yeah.
This book, it's got that same energy, published just a couple of years back, too.
Yeah, it's like the author bottled up our current anxieties and threw the whole thing forward in time. And listen, they don't hold back. 2061 America in this book. Total powder keg, political polarization, economic inequality, you name it. Things finally reach a boiling point when President Cyrus gets inaugurated January 20th. He's a staunch socialist, see? But here's where it gets really interesting.
The symbolism of it all, right, goes beyond just politics. It gets into, like, identity, the novel. It makes this whole point about the American flag. They replace it. Gone. The New Way government, they've got their own symbol, a stark red flag.
Yeah, like a punch to the gut visually.
Yeah.
And the book portrays this as the catalyst, simmering resentment. Boom. Outright rebellion. It was like people felt their whole understanding of America, it was just being erased. And that's what lit the fuse. And this isn't just like some random plot point either, right? You sent us some articles. Real world movements trying to, replace state flags, go back to 2020 even.
Exactly. And it's the same questions, just like in the book. It all comes down to who gets to decide what our symbols mean, whose history is being represented. Makes you think, when a symbol meant to bring us together, what happens when it tears us apart instead?
It's kind of creepy, right? And the novel keeps going. It tackles the whole statue thing, too. Historical figures,
Yeah.
monuments, all that, which has been a huge flashpoint lately, obviously. And yeah, the reasons behind those actions are complicated, but it still touches that nerve. Cultural identity, rewriting history.
Mm.
A novel really digs into all that.
And it's with all this simmering, right, all this tension, that the novel throws its big curveball. February 2061, Texas says, "See ya, secession." And a bunch of other states follow suit. A new confederacy, like an echo of, well.
Chillin',
Yeah.
right. And the author specifically mentions the Texas and Oklahoma National Guard by name. They refuse federal orders, side with their states, which raises a question as old as time, I guess. Where's the soldier's loyalty lie? Nation, home state. And it's not just hypothetical. Some articles you sent, there are actual secession movements gaining steam, like last year.
And that leads us to how the novel portrays the military, the whole thing. It's not black and white, not just loyal or not. Just like those National Guard units, the whole armed forces are split. Some with the feds, some fracture along ideological lines. It's fiction, sure, but could we see that here? Internal divisions threatening the whole nation's stability. What do you think? We'll be back in just a sec to meet the people at the heart of this fictional war, caught right in the middle. Stay with us.
Back again. So we've set the stage, right? America tearing itself apart. But what about the people in the middle of all this? The book introduces some pretty interesting characters, each trying to navigate this chaotic world.
Yeah, it's not just about, like, these big political forces clashing, right? It's about people, real people.
And it's not always easy to pick a side, is it? You got President Gonzalez of Texas, super devout Christian, sees the New Way government as this threat to his whole belief system.
And they don't make him some, like, caricature villain either. The novel really gets into his head, his
Yeah.
backstory. He sees America, the whole founding of it, as, like, divinely inspired. And this New Way government, total betrayal of that. He represents a really specific type of conservative thought, the kind that links national identity to, well, faith.
He's fighting for the soul of America, at least as he sees it. Then there's Colonel Adams, retired military, becomes this militia leader up in Montana, straight up no-nonsense patriot, thinks the Constitution is under attack.
Adams, he's like this embodiment of, I don't know, this anxiety a lot of people feel about traditional values disappearing, right? He feels like a stranger in his own country, left behind by how fast things are changing.
Yeah, you can totally feel that frustration coming off the page. And then you've got Deshaun King. He's the leader of the 1619 Red Brigade. And I got to say, his character, it really threw me.
He's the wild card for sure.
Totally. Okay, so he leads this radical leftist group, the 1619 Red Brigade. Even the name is loaded,
What?
1619, the year the first slaves were brought to America.
Yeah, the author did that on purpose. It's about how we deal with, like, the legacy of slavery in this country. Can you really move forward without facing that?
Deep stuff. But here's the thing about Deshaun. He's torn, believes in the cause, but struggles with how brutal it all gets. He's a good man, I think, but forced into making impossible choices. You feel for him, that internal struggle. When does fighting for justice, I don't know, justify violence? That's a question that goes way beyond this book, even.
No doubt. And that's what's so powerful about this novel. It takes these fictional characters and makes them grapple with real human dilemmas.
It's like we're looking in a funhouse mirror. The reflections are all warped, but you can still recognize something of ourselves in there. Which takes us back to your question, could this happen here? Could America really go through this again? The book doesn't give easy answers, but it makes you face some hard truths, like how seductive fear can be, how anger pulls us in, and the danger of surrounding yourself with people who agree with you all the time, only seeing your own biases reflected back.
And remember those articles about echo chambers online? How they're everywhere now, influencing everything. It's like Deshaun's playbook, social media, controlling the narrative, making the other side the enemy, consolidating power.
It's a reminder that the real battle, it's often happening online,
Yeah.
where information is a weapon and nobody has time for nuance.
And speaking of history repeating itself, this book, it's full of references to historical events, historical figures, like echoes of the past warning us about the future.
Oh, totally. I mean, you can't miss the Lincoln parallels, right? The Civil War, the fight to end slavery.
Mhm.
And it's not subtle. There's this one character quotes Solzhenitsyn, the Russian guy, survived the gulags,
Yeah.
says, "Men have forgotten God. That's why all this is happening." It's like the author's looking right at us saying, have we learned nothing?
It's a dark warning for sure. And it's even more, I don't know, unsettling when you see how the novel describes what happens after the war. It doesn't shy away from the brutality, the death, the total collapse of society. And it's not just about, like, bombs and battles either.
No, you really get a sense of what everyday life is like in this broken America. Technology breaking down, not enough resources, communities left to fend for themselves.
There's this one scene, really powerful, where this group finds an old steam locomotive and they get it running again. It becomes the symbol, right? The symbol of hope, showing that they can rebuild. Even when everything seems lost, the human spirit, it finds a way.
It's like a little light in a whole lot of darkness. But it also got me thinking about the practical stuff, like how do you even survive something like that? Remember that article, the one about the Amron network?
Oh, yeah, the amateur radio operators, right? They're prepared for anything. Natural disasters, societal collapse. And in the book, that network, it becomes essential. People trying to find their families, share information when nothing else works.
It's wild how the novel mixes the fictional and the real, Makes the whole thing feel terrifyingly possible, and gets you thinking.
And it goes deeper than just surviving, right? The novel deals with the psychological impact, too. How division and distrust linger, how conflict can affect generations. The war might be over, but the damage is done. So where do we go from here?
So we've been through a lot, haven't we? This fictional America torn apart. And it makes you wonder, right? Like you asked, could this really happen? Is this book, The Sum of All Our Anger, is it more of a warning than a story?
It sticks with you, doesn't it, that question? It's easy to brush off these what-if stories, but this one, it feels too real.
Yeah, like the author just held up a mirror to everything we're worried about right now. But it's not all doom and gloom, right?
No, you're right. Even after this awful war, there are these moments of hope, people putting their lives back together, rebuilding. Even when everything's broken, you see that human resilience.
It's powerful, those last few scenes. That steam engine coming back to life, a symbol of starting over. We adapt, we find a way, even in the darkest times. But it's a choice, isn't it? To rebuild that trust, to bridge the gap. And it's a choice we got to make every day.
Exactly. The book isn't saying this is how it has to be. It's a warning about where we could end up if we're not careful. It's about, I don't know, remembering that the other side, they're human too, even when it's hard.
It's interesting you say that because the way the author uses history, it's like they're saying, hey, we've made these mistakes before. The Lincoln stuff, the Civil War, it's all there for a reason.
Absolutely. It's like these echoes, reminding us that our choices matter. What we do today has consequences, shapes the future. We have to learn from the past, see the warning signs before it's too late.
So what are the warning signs? What can we do to actually change course?
Well, the book makes it pretty clear. Polarization, fear-mongering, losing the ability to talk to each other. We see it happening all around us. But here's the good news. Once you see it, once you're aware of it, you can start to change it. Actively look for different perspectives. Talk to people you disagree with. It's a start.
Choosing understanding over anger. Empathy over just not caring. That's where the real battle is, isn't it? In our minds and hearts. And that's where we find hope.
It's the small stuff, building bridges one conversation at a time. That's what we can all do right now.
This deep dive, man, it's been heavy. But it makes you think, right? But what's really important, the future isn't set in stone, it's what we make it. We got to choose wisely.